This is a
board game mat.
This is a
Board game mat.
This is
A board game mat. Now we're looking at the Battle Masters board game from 1992, about the same time as that Art Attack intro I just riffed off of. And they're quite similar, make me think of it in the way that this has the biggest map I've ever seen. Think about back to those art attacks where they make the massive outside art attacks. This is the UK version we're looking at, and it's one of two versions. There's also another one here. As you can see, it's got a slightly different flag in the bottom about the miniatures. And there's one or two differences, say, on the side of the box art. But mostly, it's hard to tell what any differences are inside. It's not as well documented as for, say, Hero Quest or Space Crusade. I can definitely say the UK and the NA version, I'm pretty certain are different, as I have seen pictures of theirs which has got slightly different text on the box art, again like Hero Quest did. The movement cards have all got labels on compared to just pictures in this version, and all the bases are like beige and brown rather than all green, which also helps to distinguish the armies. Similar to when I looked at Advanced Quest a few videos back, this is also a copy that's basically never been played. It's been opened and punched a bit more, but we'll go in and see what you should have got in this epic game of fantasy battles. To start off with, our battle map. And this one's nice and no crease, nice and smooth because it's never been folded badly, trying to get it back into the 20 folds to get it in the box. You can see it's just like a little sort of map material, kind of like the old kids tablecloths you get. But it's large enough, you have to spread it on the floor, it doesn't fit anywhere else, no tables. Although I've got enough of these, I might use one as a tablecloth at some point. At least they should be wiped clean easy, which is quite nice. So one game you can play at the pub and not have to worry about spills. Next up, we've got all our green unit bases. And as you can see here, they're all identical. They've all got slots, so you can have forward facing units or sideways facing units or the stands or whatever. It's got here labels, so you could keep track of which unit was which, the combat dice they'd roll, etc. It's got a little hold bit there for storing certain tiles we'll look at later, and room to put in the flag. And I'll say there's enough for each one of these bases consists of one unit or team of units, say a team of knights or a team of beastmen, etc. Next up, let's just get this out of the way. The nice leaflet as traditional in all the games. So here we have, it's a bit bigger than the actual Hero Quest boxes, but we have advert for Hero Quest. On the back, the advert for Space Crusade, and a full page pullout for this game itself, Battle Masters. Just grab the rule book now, and this is just nice simple rules and a bit sticky just from age. This basically includes both rules and also if you want to play your campaign, it's got all your layouts at the back for if you want to do a couple of successive missions playing good versus evil, and then a little reminder on the back of some of the cards and what they do. Going to grab these next. And here we have our special combat dice, as traditional from the game, from MB Games Workshop in the 90s. And as you can see, all they are is skulls for damaging, shields for defense, or blanks. And it's very similar to the Hero Quest, except it's got 2 blanks, 1 defend, and 3 skulls. Next up is this bad boy here, the castle. 5 segments, you can build your own big 3D castle, sits on the board, which gives us this marvellous structure here, which used to stand there on the board and just tower over everyone. It's a big 3D physical piece. If I get them, see how tall it is compared to actual units. You could even keep your units inside the top of the tower in their base to mark that they had taken control of the tower, which is quite cool to put them up above everyone else. So next up here we've got the playing cards. And these are still sealed. Brand new, and again, any collectors, I'm about to upset you now because we're going to open these up. Aha! So starting off with, we've got 6 ogre cards, it should be, and these are referencing the ogre because you used to have to use them when you were chaos to indicate if he was moving or attacking. We've got all these tower castles here, and these are all your unit movement cards, and one final blank one at the end, which I think is just the PAP reference card when they printed the games. So just taking a look at these, and I imagine these are probably all ordered. So when you're playing the game, you could only ever move whatever, you draw one card per turn, and whatever units were pictured were the units you could move. Obviously these feature both Chaos and Imperial. So with a bad run of luck, you could end up not being able to move for ages while your forces got decimated. As you can see here, well, it's the Ogre. Now it's Imperial, so you've got a lot of Knights. You've got the Charge, which you saw earlier, which is they have increased combat. A lot of all mounted cards to move together. Some more charges. You've got Bowmen firing. You've got all your men on foot basically. The Mighty Cannon, and there should be a whole army move card as well. I guess now we're moving on to the main bulk of the game, with the advertised with the 100 Citadel miniatures. And that is the miniatures. There's a lot of plastic in here. Some of these plastic, these are all the flags. This one's still got a bit of sprue attached to it. Yeah, we'd have a lot of these coloured flags which should match the colour of the units you're going for. Such as there's some green ones for green skin, black for the Chaos Knights, etc. And we'll get to it later, but they should have some flags to be able to attach to them. And then all of our miniatures, so stuff like all the horses, come in two parts. You just pop it together in the middle, as you can see there. And then just have little slots in the top, so you can just slot the riders in there. And again, there you can have, like, so horses here, they're designed to sit front on, compared to when you got your orcs, and they're designed to sit sideways facing you. So example knights, so you see here the red knight's horse is there, he's got his little bit and it just slots in and they just sit there on there. All the miniatures come unpainted, and they do have pictures of painted miniatures everywhere, but also there's a lot of stuff such as any poles which would have flags on them, any banners, any shields, all comes with stickers as well, so they'll be nice and colourful by the time you're finished. Flicking through a couple of these, Imperial Knights on their mighty steeds, the best unit for the Imperials. Then we've got the Mighty Cannon. This is the Imperials, like, heavy big guy weapon sort of thing, and this can destroy a lot of enemies in one go, but can also destroy itself. We have some goblins riding wolves or wargs, along with your standard orcs who have all got different coloured shields. Click on the box here, each unit actually has got around the side, which is quite nice. It will show you what sort of any banners they'll have on their poles and equipment, what flag they should have, what their shield should look like as well. Because whilst you'll see the Imperials there, they've all got the same matching shields, and it shows you what label should go in their base. Looking at the Chaos side, you can see stuff like the Beastmen and the Wolves. They all have actual different matching shields in the unit, just representing how Chaos, the actual Chaos units are compared to the organised Imperial army. Continuing looking at some people, here we have the Mighty Ogre Champion. For the Chaos, he gets 6 actions to start with, and as you slowly wound him and batter him down, he gets less and less and less. But he is quite a mighty beast. And some more general foot soldiers for Imperial. Got halberdiers or men at arms maybe, crossbowmen, archers. For there. Chaos units in return. I've got beastmen. They've got Chaos Warriors or Chaos Knights, and Chaos Archers or Chaos Thugs, I believe. Miniatures put in the scene. Here's a nice Powder Man who goes with the cannon. Here's our non-mounted goblins, and our Champion of Chaos in all his mounted glory. The Imperials get 3 units of Knights, and it's quite nice when you first get the game, they've all got different coloured horses, so you can actually tell each unit apart before you even get around to painting it. Also came a bit more 3D terrain. These little hedges you can just put down to make different bits of the path impassable, so you'd have to go around. I believe it's impassable to everyone. I'd have to check the rules exactly to try and remember. Oh, one more cannon man. Then if you ignore all the bits of sprue, actually the main remainder bit is just punch board. And I would say a punch board, I should say the punch board, because the box is so big, it whole thing fits in there in one go. So, lifting this out, but I'm going to lose at least one of these tiles to there. But so, well, I've lost that now. But so here we've got 10 of these cannon tiles at the bottom. I'll flip it over in a minute to show you, but that will show you if your cannons hit, if the ball bounces, if it explodes. That's what you're trying to do, shoot at people. We've got a couple of these tiles here, so you can create fords on the river, you can create swamps and marshes, This just lets you set up the terrain even more at the start of the game, which is quite a nice feature where you could lay these out. One player would set up the board how they wanted it, and the other player would choose what end they want to start. The red and the grey here, they're used for the units, and they're mainly used for setting up in a fog of war situation. I can't remember exactly how, because it's been a while since I've played it, but I believe at the start of the game, most missions you'd lay out units one at a time. In fog of war, you'd lay them all face down, so the opponent wouldn't know where you're mustering your strength. These little axes, I believe, are used in the campaign mode. So any unit that survives gets one of these, and it makes them slightly more stronger. So they roll 1 extra dice or have 1 extra life. I can't remember off the top of my head, I'd have to look it up again. And finally in the corner, most important, skulls. Anytime you hit an enemy, you're going to give them a skull to give them a wound. And apart from certain characters, anyone gets 3 wounds and they're dead. And right down there in the bottom corner, rubble. Another feature you had, you've got your massive tower, you've got the cannon. The cannon can actually hit the tower. If it hits the tower enough times, you put rubble on it, and eventually the tower is destroyed. So I think the tower, like people, has got 3 lives. You hit it 3 times with your cannon, 3 bits of rubble, tower's knocked down, destroyed, and that's it. Useless for the rest of the game. And this here, that's just actually used for the cannon. That's the target. So you put that down where you want your cannon to hit. Turning it around, this is hanging out. I'm going to move it. There we go. A bit more terrain. These are all double-sided. That lets you just put like a little picket up, which makes it harder to be attacked across the picket line, but easier for you to shoot at enemies or attack them, etc. And here you can see your cannon. You've got a couple of things. Either the cannonball keeps going, it bounces, or it just explodes on the target. And last but not least, the sticker sheet. And this has got everything you need. So as you can see, it's got all the flags for putting around all your characters' flagpoles. All the stickers for the bases, so you can mark which characters are which. All your shields are up there to mark them on. And then, as well as your main flags, all little banners to go on, like the knight characters where they're holding the banners they charge into battle. We'll just have a quick look at around the outside of the box. I hope you enjoyed watching that. I hope it's useful if you've got any copies at home, you want to know what's in it, you're not sure if it's complete. And I hope you have to listen to all the bits of sprue in the box. Sorry. Hopefully as well, if you're a collector, you're not too upset about me punching out card and opening the pack of cards. It just had to be done, I'm afraid. Final edge of the box, just here. There we go. So around the box shows you plain minis. On the back of the box actually shows you what they can look like when they're fully painted up for the Imperials and the Chaos. There also were a couple of expansions for it. There's one for the Chaos and one for the Imperial. Unlike other games, they didn't really add much, just added more units and gave you a couple of rules just so you could effectively run your own points values. But yeah, good look at the Battle Masters. Hope you enjoyed that. Next summer's video on Battle Masters, there'll be a link on the left there to follow. If you want to keep watching the video series, just follow the link on the right. Thanks for watching, hope to catch you soon.